Welcome to my leaking F150. Here we have both automatic transmission cooler lines rusted through. Should have seen this coming when I changed the starter out. In this video we're going to change out two lines. This one goes from the transmission to the auxiliary cooler. The truck has an auxiliary cooler on it. The other one heads off up to the upper radiator. It connected at the upper radiator right there. The other end all the way back to the transmission. The lower of those two lines. It's a real tight spot where they come into the tranny, so I picked a nice open spot here and decided to hack through them with an oscillating tool. I've got the heavy-duty extra heavy-duty cutoff wheel on there. Well, that's one way to get the remaining transmission fluid out of the lines. I got a little catch pan underneath there, and I'm actually keeping track of how much comes out so I can put the same amount back in later. And this lower one right here goes back to the radiator. There's a bracket up here that kind of holds both lines. I don't know if it's due to rust or what, but I had a bear of a time getting these lines off of this bracket. Okay, one line at a time. We got that top line out. That goes to the auxiliary cooler. The auxiliary cooler. Okay, now we can get this one out. Easiest way to do it is going to be to pull it forward to the front of the vehicle. Okay, one down. Most of one down anyway. And this lower line I just could not get off the bracket. So I decided to use a snap ring pliers to spread that bracket. It's kind of like spring steel. Now this little clip holds together the line that goes to the upper radiator and a third line, which we're not replacing, which goes from the lower radiator to the other side of the cooler. Grab a 5/8" flare nut wrench and detach this line from the radiator. Boy, the whole thing's moving. The line, and there's a bushing that this line goes into, so we're going to have to separate those. I'm going to move this intake assembly out of the way. It's 210mm here, and there's an 8 on the other side to take the cover off. This is easy to do, and it gives us some space to work. Look at all that room in there now. Okay, so I took the clamp off, pulled this line out. This is like 28mm. Okay, so I don't have a 28mm wrench. I'm not going to go get one. A la Cresent. There. Okay. We got it, so we'll just turn it off instead of cutting it. The line is free now. We should be able to work it through there. Okay, there's the underside view as we wiggle and jiggle, twist and turn, and try everything we can to get this through here. Okay, we're catching on that fan guard. So I was able to work it down from the top around the hose. That should do it. There's always something in the way in a car. Okay, we moved it in and twisted it a little bit, and there it comes. Okay, that was a hard one. Okay, there's just room to get a hacksaw in here, so we're just gonna cut this off. And we can reach the other one as well. And here's the other one. And now it should be possible to get in there with a deep well socket. Take those out. So I got a 5/8 inch deep well. That's a 3/4 inch wrench I'm using there. Same thing on the top one. I'm going to leave these in until we actually change out the lines. Okay, there's some differences in the way this one is bent. Hopefully it's not going to cause a problem. It's kind of awkward, but you kind of have to route this both ways at the same time. One on the left there toward the transmission, and on the right toward the radiator. And I'm slipping it up behind the fan guard, and in between that and the crankshaft pulley there. And that, from trial and error, that seemed to be the best way to go. Okay, so working it from both ends at the same time. And then this end. So here it comes up now between the between the radiator hose and the fan guard. Finally getting it up toward the radiator connection. And you just have to kind of keep going back and forth. Okay. There. That looks good. Okay, just finger tight for now. Now all that's left is that fitting at the transmission, and we'll turn that the rest of the way out. And that line fitting, the old line fitting, still attached to the bushing. Let's separate those now. So that's got to go in first. Then you can get in there with a 3/4. Turn that in. going to be a little bit easier if you can get a ratchet in there. Get that good and tight. And now we can turn in the line. As far as you can by hand. And wrap it up with a 5/8 until it seats. There. I'm taking this hanger out of the way, unbolting it here so I can get it on the line. Surprisingly, I couldn't get it on the line in its position here. Take this off and slip it in place. So there again is that snap ring pliers, handy for spreading that hanger. Wow, that thing really is hard to get in there. There it is. Okay, now this one can be cinched up all the way. Nice and tight. This hose back on. And we'll put the clamp back on. It's a 7A031AA. All right. Let's go check the other end. Okay, I think we've got what we need now. Okay, so let's see if we can take out just the fitting, not the whole thing. And the whole thing is turned out, of course. So it's going to be easy if you can get a ratchet on there and turn this off. And out it comes. So once again, we'll separate these two. It's a job for a vise and breaker bar. Wow. There it is. Apart at last. They were a couple. Finger tight, and I've got to go get a 3/4 inch socket. Right. Okay, now we can take our plastic wrap off. We'll always leave it on till the point of install. Okay, now moving over here, There's our hanger again. Can I do it? Yes! So now we got to stick a nut back on there and tighten that up. At 15 millimeter, tighten it up. Alright. Now these lines are solid. Initially, at the factory, they had a little clip clipping these two together, but they've altered the bend a little and it won't reach anymore, and I'm not worried about it at all. So we'll just tighten that one back there and then do some buttoning up and we're done. Boy, there's so little room to work in here. There. I'd say the job looks pretty good. See your way down there? As they sneak off into the distance. We're looking okay now. Okay, some came out when I did the job, so I'm going to put about 14 ounces back in. I'll measure it out. Okay, that should replace what I've taken out. Okay, we fired it up now, and I'm checking each connection for leaks. Well, this job, like all of them with vehicles, had its frustrating elements, but by and large I'm happy with the way this turned out. You know, the fit of the OEM lines was really great. I've experienced less success with aftermarket parts. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more useful stuff to come.